Hey everybody, welcome back to another live stream edition of A Week in Geekdom. This is it totally improvised. I literally thought of it 2 hours ago as of recording or doing this live video on YouTube. I am Giovanni Melendez, and tonight, as of this post, it's Christmas Eve 2019. Happy holidays to everybody. I wish you nothing but the very best. And today I wanted to review the fall anime season. I started doing that on early 2019 with spring, then summer, and now fall. And yeah, I guess in 2020 I will be doing that more often and talking about anime and all that stuff. So look forward to that. Yay. I don't expect anybody to show up on the comment section on the live chat because I did not give any hints that I was going to do this. This is totally improvised, like I just mentioned. Now, why is it improvised? Because I have been trying to upload a couple of videos and I can't. Hey, buddy, Merry Christmas. Yes, and Happy New Year to you. Same. Thank you. I am shocked that anybody would show up for one of these live streams because, like I was just saying, this was unplanned. I wanted to upload like an actual video because I don't like doing live streams on my channel. I do shows with the Omni Bros, and that's always live, so I'm used to going live over there. Not on this channel. I like recording and editing and all that stuff. But for this video, I've been having crazy internet problems trying to upload a couple videos. So I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go live Christmas Eve. I got nothing else to do than to spend some quality time with you fine folks and talk about some anime that I've been watching. So unfortunately, it's not comic book related. It's not graphic novels. It's not video games. I apologize. But we're going to talk some anime because I love animation. It's my favorite genre. And any chance I get to talk about it, yes, please. So, as always, thank you for liking and commenting, subscribing to the channel. You can follow me on social media and all that stuff. For the fall season, it was a little bit all over the place. I wasn't watching a lot of the shows that you might think. Stuff like, for example, Food Wars, or what's the Fate series that people keep talking about, or My Hero Academia. I didn't go that route, specifically with Food Wars and My Hero Academia, because I collect the My Hero manga, and I watch the anime when new Blu-rays come out. I don't keep up with it week by week on the Crunchyroll or Hulu or whatever. And for Food Wars, yeah, I'm collecting the series on Blu-ray. So when I get a new set, then I watch the episodes. So I wanted to take some time to watch. Hayden, thank you so much. I'm a simple man. As soon as I get a notification, I click immediately. Tongue-tied. Thank you so much, Hayden. That really means a lot. So yeah, for this season, I wanted to try out or I should say branch out and watch all the shows that I could. Unfortunately, not a lot were that good. I dropped a few shows, and we're going to go over the list. Don't worry about it. Actually, let me start sharing my screen here for you guys. Let me get this tab. All right. This is what you guys should be seeing. Yep, it's working. Yeah, I'm using live chart for this video because it's the simplest way to keep track of all the shows that are coming out and if I'm watching and all that stuff. El Denver, thank you for joining, buddy. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. First, Dr. Stone, even though it premiered, I think late spring, it continued all the way up to December. And the first season finally finished, 24 episodes, and I loved it all the way through. I was already reading the manga, and I love the manga. It's fantastic. But the anime just, I there was something special about that adaptation where they really took their time and really they got they got it right. The way the characters behave and the dialogue translated really well into animation. The the actual anime looks amazing. I love the color palette. It's so bright and colorful and beautiful to look at, regardless of the subject matter, because it is sort of this post-apocalyptic tale, if you think about it. And the thing I really liked about Dr. Stone, like the one thing that like hooked me with the anime was the music score, the soundtrack and stuff. It was easily one of the best soundtracks of any media in 2019. If you get a chance, I'm pretty sure you're going to find it on YouTube. Check out the Dr. Stone original soundtrack. That thing is amazing. I loved it so much, and it gave such a unique personality to the show that without it, I don't think it would have been as successful. And a lot of people are going to probably concentrate on the characters, which, granted, it's the most important part. But I really do think the music helped the series elevate itself, especially with flute sounding tracks and just really distinct. And they even snuck in like hip hop tracks and rap just subtly, which I thought was really cool. I love Dr. Stone. If you get a chance, you can watch the first season. It's already renewed for a second one. We already have a poster for it, the Stone Wars and all that stuff. I am reading the manga, so I am a little bit ahead, and I know what's happening, or I should say, I know what is going to happen. If you get a chance, do watch it. You're gonna have a fun time. If you're not necessarily into manga, then yeah, the anime is just as good, in my honest opinion. I really enjoyed it. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm not up to date with My Hero Academia anime wise, so I really can't talk about that one. SAO, unfortunately, I am not a fan. I dropped after the first season. It just didn't appeal to me. I actually liked the first season with all its faults and whatnot, but actually I do think I watched some of season 2, but again, not really my thing. Yeah. Sorry, I have a window open right here, so it's kind of hard for me to highlight comments, but I'll get to that. Don't worry about it, guys. What is this? Fire Force. All right. What can I say about Fire Force? Fire Force, unlike Dr. Stone, it's a little complicated for me. I love David Production. I think they're one of the most underrated production teams in Japan. I love all the stuff that they've done so far. And with Fire Force, I genuinely think it is their best work to date. It looks amazing. And if you have like the biggest screen that you have for your TV and the best sound equipment and all that stuff, sound bars, home theater, whatever, please watch it in that setup, because a lot of details get lost if you just watch it on your computer or on your phone, I should say. With Fire Force, I don't know the frames or none of that technical jargon, but it looks fantastic. It really looks digital, and the sound design on that series is really impressive. I loved Fire Force. We've only seen, I think, up to 2022, 21, something like that. It's not technically over as of 2019. Of course, it suffered some delays early on because of the Kyoto animation thing. But regardless, the series is really cool. I've done a video on my channel covering the first volume of the manga if you want to check it out. Firefighters fighting instantaneous human combustion, and there's a conspiracy, and a lot of people with fire powers. It's crazy. There are a couple of issues, especially with one of the cast members. Oh God, I'm going to butcher this. Is it Tamaki, the one with the fox ears? Maki, or I'm terrible with names right now. The one with the cat ears. When she first shows up, that is one of the things I actually didn't like about the manga, is that she's awesome, she's great, but she turns out to be this huge fan service trope where every time she's on screen, she loses an article of clothing. You don't technically see anything because it's a PG or PG-13 show or whatever, but it gets old really fast. I ended up kind of hating it the first time. I'm like, whatever, silly gags, a show for teenage boys, whatever. But every single episode, I got really tired and honestly quite bored. The series is fun because of our main protagonist and how his aspirations, you want to root for him, and why he wants to become a hero and save people. That's awesome. I love that so much. But again, midway through the series, it sort of just dips and the story just meanders a little bit, and you're like, okay, the world could use a little bit more expanding, if you will. Hey, Thomas. Sorry, I just saw the message. Merry Christmas to anybody logging in right now. So, yeah, the story falters a little bit, but the later episodes, especially towards the end where we're at as of this video, completely blew me away. The tunnel fight and the animation and all that stuff, and the story when you finally get some answers to like the Adala link or whatever terminology is escaping me at the moment. It's really cool stuff, and I'm intrigued to keep watching, and I am hopeful that we will get that renewal for season 2, and it's going to be just as good, if not better. What else did I see? Here we have a couple more. Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga started in summer. I got to be honest with you guys. This is done by Wit Studios. It's fantastic, gorgeous. It's marvelous. It's a treat. If you like Vikings, if you like historical fiction and just fighting and epic sword and sandal style stories, you're going to have a fun time. However, I needed to brush up on my history when it came to that era in the early 1000s because I was completely lost halfway through the series. Of course, you know what's happening and you follow the characters beat for beat, but this is happening in the background and this war is happening with these characters and the king is doing this move. It's all fine. It's wonderful, but I totally got lost halfway and it wasn't as fun as it should have been. But, I read up on it and I got with it. And the later portion of the show just went up a notch and just really cool stuff. I really enjoy Vinland Saga because I've always liked history and I've always fascinated about these subject matters and what these characters might have lived through. And it captures that time period really well. Of course, there's your exaggerated fights for, because it's an anime or originally it was a manga, but you get my point. You got to suspend your disbelief with some of the fights, but still they look really cool and it's very political and it's very action oriented. A story about revenge and the importance of, family, honor, duty. There's so many themes involved with Vinland Saga that I can't properly talk about it in this stream, but I hopefully in 2020 I will do a video on the series itself because I kind of do want to do that. I want to explore the show a little bit more. But yeah, top class, fantastic series. Crazy Jane, welcome. Merry Christmas to you, buddy. Next up, this is Overcautious Hero. I'm not going to read the Japanese name that's on the screen right there. This is from White Fox. This got delayed, and I think we're missing one more episode before it ends, but it is sort of like a serious / parody isekai, and I was intrigued. I know a lot of people hate isekai. I know a lot of people like isekai, and I know a lot of people are very indifferent towards it. Basically, your hero is summoned to this world where this goddess, Rista, she is going to guide him to defeat this huge demon lord thing or whatever. But the thing that makes it a worthwhile series, it's comedy. Our main protagonist is overly cautious. He will rather train up to level 100 before setting out on the first quest and getting all the items and having all the necessary precautions and knowing all the plans before getting into a fight, much to our goddess's anger. And just I really liked the interaction between the two characters, and it got really silly, and the art style perfectly encapsulated that slapstick comedy and a lot of reactions, especially on her part. The first episode is probably my favorite, and her reactions when she sees our main hero for the first time. So if you like that, if you like comedy and a little bit action, video game-esque story, I think you're gonna like it. Just be warned, there is a couple fan servicey moments, especially with a few voluptuous characters, and because they're exploring gods and goddesses, there are a couple that are a little bit risque. I'm just gonna say that much. So yeah, just be careful where you stream this show, because you never know. No, I'm not watching any of these shows. Assassin's Creed, nope. Orewo Sookie, I forgot the name of that show. If somebody in the chat can help me out, because Live Chart gives me the Japanese name, but the official English translation, I don't know. This was a mixed bag, but I am really enjoying it. As of now, I am, it says here 15 hours, right? Yeah, 15 hours away from the season finale, hopefully, because this is a comedy romance about this guy that gets proposed. He thinks these girls are going to propose to him, like, oh, I like you, I want to be your girlfriend and whatnot. But it turns out they'd love his best friend. And hilarity ensues when they ask him, he's really upset about it, but they ask him because he's good-natured. They, Goku with a brain. Exactly. Overcautious here is very bombastic, like very bombastic. Don't take it serious. Just have a fun time with it. Just be warned, because isekai tends to go with the whole video game trope where it's all about stats and let me check out the stats on this guy. I don't really like that. If I'm watching an isekai series, for example, I want it to be like, okay, here's this hero, he gets transported to another world and he lives out that world, not necessarily like an RPG or a JRPG. I'm not into that. So just be cautious about it. See what I did there? Orewa Sookie, our main protagonist, he's going to help out these girls try and get to dating with his best friend. And a lot of backstabbing occurs, and sort of like this rom-com with a twist where the character is very cynical. It's a very cynical, satirical view at a harem show, because suddenly you have all of these characters that you're seeing on the screen here falling for the main protagonist, but he's not necessarily the nicest guy, and his humor is very somewhat realistic in the way that he does a lot of fourth wall breaking and commenting on the situation, where one episode will have a fan servicey pool episode, and he'll reference things that the audience will know, or he'll say like, oh, why didn't you, when another girl shows up, why didn't you show up in the first episode? It could have saved us a lot of time. It's stuff like that I really enjoyed. There's a lot of fourth wall breaking, and the characters are very interesting. The main lead falls in love. I love the idea that the series takes place in this high school, and all of the characters, one fateful summer day, they're watching their school's baseball team in action, and all of the characters in the show interact in that baseball game without knowing. They check out another character, or they see the main protagonist, a friend who is a pitcher on the baseball team, and they fall for him. So everything happens on that day, but they don't know about it until later on when they start talking about it. The first couple of episodes, when you're trying to figure out this complex love triangle, who loves who, and he's really upset about the girls for doing that, and he falls in love with a particular girl and doesn't know who she is, but later on we find out that she's the one in the picture right there with the glasses. It's very interesting the way they go about it, but after like episode 4 or 5, when that somewhat gets resolved, it just goes back to being a regular harem type rom-com, and what made it special for me kind of got lost. I like the series, it's funny, but the first couple episodes with the initial plot twist, I think it's worthwhile. Later on, it's all right. Nothing too fancy. This I did not watch, but this is my guilty pleasure. I'm sorry. We Never Learn. I never learn. I keep coming back to these type of shows. We Never Learn season 2 is exactly the same as season 1. There's no difference. The characters don't necessarily evolve. Like, yeah, they show feelings for each other and all that stuff, but there's not a lot of character progression. It's the same exact thing, adapting the manga from Shonen Jump, but with different scenarios. What I like about the series are the characters themselves. The story, I could care less about, but the characters are very charming, and they're so dumb when it comes to romance that it's cute and hilarious when they get into trouble and how do they fix things. It's just silly fun. I know. It does have a couple fan servicey moments that I didn't really care for, but overall, it's, like I said, a guilty pleasure. It's only 13 episodes, and I'm really sure they're gonna renew it for a third season, guaranteed. Here we have Iruma. Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun. I think that's the whole name. Basically, it's got sort of like this My Hero Academia-esque twist, or what was the other one they kept mentioning? People in the YouTube comments and Crunchyroll and stuff, they kept mentioning another series. I can't remember. But to me, it sort of reminded me of My Hero Academia, except without the superpowers and superheroes. It's in hell, or the afterlife, in a demon school where they don't know about humans, and our protagonist is the only human there. His parents are terrible. They're douchebags. They're the worst Shonen Jump parents, or why did I say Shonen Jump? The worst Shonen parents I've ever seen. They apparently got baited, and they sold their son's soul for cash, wealth, and riches. And the demon that got this kid, he wants to have a grandkid. So Sullivan is his name, I think, adopts him as his own, and it happens that he is the principal, he's a principal at the demon school and enrolls Iruma at that school. But all the kids there don't know that he's human, and he has to hide that fact. Otherwise, they might eat him or kill him or something. So it's very comedic. It's very silly, and there are a lot of cute and wholesome characters in this show that I really enjoy. If you want to have a fun time, I wholeheartedly recommend it. Thankfully it's 23 episodes, so technically it hasn't ended yet as of this stream, but I do recommend it, and I really enjoyed it. A fun time. No Guns Life. I have to be honest with you. I'm going to talk about 2 shows in particular on this stream. No Guns Life has a very interesting premise. It could be something really awesome, but I got bored halfway through it. I think, episode 12 hasn't aired as of the stream, so I don't know how the season ends, but it has a really cool premise. This detective, he has a gun for a head, and it's sort of like this alternate take in the future where people have like prosthetic, robotic limbs, and they're extended and all that stuff, and it's very Frank Miller-esque Sin City mixed with anime, cyberpunk aesthetics, all that stuff. But I don't know. It's something about the episodic nature of it, because it's case. There is an initial threat for the first 3 episodes when he finds this boy. This boy has been operated on illegally, and he sort of has this superpowered extended brain thing that can control other machines. So all the bad corporation and the bad guys are after him. Our main protagonist with a gun, he sets out to save him. He's not really too fond of kids, but he can't turn down that offer after seeing that it's a kid. So he saves him, and later on we get case that all the time. So I don't really I didn't really care for it. I probably am going to finish it later on, but and I am going to watch season 2 because it did get renewed. I am interested in the characters; they look really cool, and I like the aesthetic and setting, so I will continue. But it's not at the top of my list of things I want to keep watching week to week. Here are 2 shows that did end. Finally, something that did end, and I can talk about it fully. It is Kimono Michi and Watashi, which means, didn't I say to make my abilities average in the next life, or something like that? That is way too long, so I'm just going to call it average. For Kimono Michi is an isekai wrestling comedy series. Genzo, he is a professional wrestler from our world, and he gets transported to this medieval-esque fantasy world. Another Earth, and in that Earth, they want him to become a hero and defeat a demon lord and beasts and animals and all that stuff. But our hero loves animals with a burning passion and doesn't want to hurt them. Instead, he finally has an opportunity to realize his lifelong dream of setting up a pet shop. It just so happens that it's in another world, so you have fantastical creatures like dragons and goblins, orcs, stuff like that. It's really funny. The manga is written by the same mangaka that did Konosuba, so you get that type of humor. Not as outlandish and bombastic as Konosuba. It's a little bit more, it holds itself back a little with its comedy, but it's still charming and awesome. The fight scenes when it comes to wrestling are really well done. I'm not a wrestling fan, but I really enjoyed that stuff. I loved it. Genso, he's a very different protagonist compared to somebody like Kazuma. Genzo is very honest. He's serious. He's kind of heroic in his own way. Of course, when he sees like a furry animal or beast men or beast women, he goes to fondle them, not because he's a pervert or anything, but because he loves animals so much. But the people in that town, they label him as a pervert. So it's really hilarious. I really enjoyed it. It's only 12 episodes, and it's really well done. The animation on it, I think there was only 1 episode where it was kind of but everything else was really smooth. The characters are just fantastic, just a delight. I hope we do get a season 2 sometime in the near future. Average life, you follow 4 main girls, 4 wholesome, funny girls, and they form a band, and it's going to become world-class hunters in this other life. This character dies in our world and gets transported to that other place, and she just wishes to have an average life, but it so happens that she gets bestowed powers that are not average, and she's really overpowered, but she doesn't want to show that, and she just wants to live as normally as she can, because in her previous life she was really smart but didn't really have a lot of friends, and her life was very different from your average citizen. So in this new world, she has an opportunity to do so. It has one of the coolest and most, well, not coolest, one of the cutest, I should say, openings of all time. I love the opening so much. I get a kick whenever I watch the new episode and the opening came on. with the little dance number and all the ladies. It was really cute. I do recommend it. Nothing too groundbreaking, but still some wholesome fun. Fate Grand Order, big old pass. I just like the main Fate series. I kind of do want to watch it because of the animation, because it looks fantastic. But Psycho Pass, unfortunately, I'm not up to date, so I'm not watching season 3. Ahiru no Sora, I need to start watching more sports anime because I love sports anime, and I like basketball, so I will be watching this eventually, just not now. This is probably my favorite series, one of my top series of 2019, Beastars. Before I read the manga, I watched the anime. It's airing on Netflix Japan, so if you know your ways, wink wink, you can probably watch it. But it is coming out in yada yada yada. Merry Christmas, Gio. Cool. All right. I hope the yada yada means that I'm not boring you with so much talking. But I'm wrapping up soon. Don't worry about it. Beastars is really cool. I was intrigued by the concept because I saw the manga, but I didn't actually pick the first volume up. And I saw the first episode and completely loved it. I love the idea that it's, and I hate saying this, but it's the easiest way to tell people. Beastars is sort of like this Zootopia-esque series where carnivores, herbivores, omnivores, they all live together in this society that's you think is perfect, but it's really broken, and they're trying to keep the peace. Our main protagonist, our main hero, he is in this boarding school, and there is a murder on campus. One of the herbivores has been eaten by a carnivore, and they're trying to find out who it is. Our main protagonist is a wolf. He is a sweet-natured, wholesome boy that one of the best protagonists of 2019. And long story short, he ends up falling for this white dwarf rabbit, and they form sort of this unlikely relation, and a lot of drama and a lot of suspense, well written. The animation, a lot of people were iffy about it when it was first coming out because it's CG, and myself included, I'm not a fan of CG looking anime, but for this, it's very stylized and it works. It's very fluid in the way that these characters behave compared to other CG anime. So at least for this nerd, I liked it. I really enjoyed the animation. I know a lot of people that are exclusive to the manga don't necessarily think the show is the best representation because of that art choice, but it works. For animation, it definitely works. For manga, the manga is totally different. It looks more European-esque in its sort of like an indie comic, Euro comic, but it still works for that medium. So I appreciate that they didn't try and replicate that, and they did their own thing, Orange Studio. So if you get a chance, it's coming out on regular Netflix soon after it finishes airing its first season. It's only going to be 12 episodes, sadly. Hopefully it's a hit and we get more, because I need more anime Beastars. Even though I'm collecting the manga and reading the manga, I still want to watch the show just as much as I want to read it. Oh man, there's a lot of titles. This is Ascendance of a Bookworm. Easily. And I have to admit something to you guys. I'm subscribed to a couple of YouTubers that do video reviews on anime and video essays and all that stuff. I don't watch their videos because I don't want that to influence whenever I make a video. So I'm sadly missing out on some great content from fellow YouTubers, but I can guarantee you that Bookworm is the best modern representation of what isekai is and what it can do. It is a fantastic series. Our main protagonist, she dies in our world from a freakish accident involving, I think it was an earthquake in a library, and she gets reborn into this world where there are no books, and she's a bookworm. All that she wants to do is read books. She has a passion for it, and she knows a lot. And in this world, she's reborn into this peasant family. A lot of people don't read. the concept of books is non-existent. Only the nobles, in hidden libraries and all that stuff, in the palaces and all that, they have the access to the books. So she, in this new life, as a young, tiny little girl, wholesome girl, she wants to first try and get her bearings straight and make paper and deal with merchants and construct books so that she can read them in this new life. She gets she gets into a lot of business transactions with merchants and guards and all that stuff. So you do get excellent world building that deals with the economy and the social structure of another world. I love it. I genuinely love this series so much, and I'm so sad that we're only 1 or 2 episodes away, because it says 14 right there on the screen. We are getting an OVA, I think, and then we're getting season 2 next year. I think summer or somewhere along those, either late spring or early summer. I don't know, but we're getting a season 2, so I'm really excited about that. It first started as a light novel. It's one of the best-selling light novels, if I remember correctly. Then it became a manga, and now it's an anime. So you have 3 different options. If you don't necessarily want to watch the anime, I do recommend the manga or the light novel. I love it. I cannot recommend it enough. It's fantastic. Mind is such a great character, and you feel her passion, and it reminds you of a life worth living, and living it out to the max, and all the trials and tribulations that she's going through. They can be a little bit fantastical, but still you're rooting for her. There's no gimmicks, there's no like video game-esque mechanic. There is a little bit of magic hinted throughout, but it's not too intrusive. It's naturally blended in. As you watch the episode, it slowly starts creeping its way in, and it's fantastic. I wholeheartedly recommend Bookworm. Easily one of the best isekai around. Val Love. No, I didn't see that. Babylon. I forgot to watch that. Yay me. Moving on. What else is here? No, I'm not watching any of this. Kabukicho Sherlock. Basically, original anime from Production IG, adapting the Sherlock Holmes franchise into anime. I think it's Shibuya Street, divided east and west. And the cast of characters, obviously you start with Watson, and he's trying to locate Sherlock to help him with a case that involves his own well-being. And all of the main characters work as detectives in this secret pub bar. They get cases, so it's very episodic in nature, and it's fun. I thought it was going to be a little grimmer, but it's fun nonetheless, and it's beautifully animated. Production IG rarely disappoints. I think they did a really good job on it. It's 24 episodes. It hasn't ended. We're halfway, and through halfway of the series, I can recommend it. I think it was solid. There are a couple episodes that I didn't really care for, but overall, what I've watched so far, I think it's a fun, quirky adaptation of Sherlock Holmes. It's drawn realistically. It's not like a goofy anime. So if you're into that, I think you're gonna have a fun time. Why did I'm not watching this. This is the Dice Club thing. I think I have it on my watch list, but I'm not actually watching it. So sorry about that. No, I'm not watching One Piece. Pokemon. Did it already start? Yeah, it's already on episode 7. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. African worker or Africa salaryman. Really bizarre office type humor about anthropomorphic animals in Africa and working in an office. And it's very silly. It's very self-aware. The animation is terrible, but that is on purpose, and that is what gives it its unique charm. So I really enjoyed it. It's only 12 episodes. You'll watch it super fast. You're going to have a fun time. And if you're a fan of, and cannot remember the name of the voice actor, but the seiyuu that does the voice for Zenitsu in Demon Slayer, he voices Toucan, and he is the best part of the show because he's so over the top and crazy. I think you're gonna like him. There was another show that I was watching. What was it? Blade of the Immortal. It's not listed in here for some reason. You need to finish that. I think I watched like 4 episodes and it's fine, but because of the nature of the story, and it's a revenge story, so you get multiple level fights per episode, I kind of got bored. I know the manga's famous. I know a lot of people love the manga and the original show too, but this new one, it looks fantastic, but I kind of want to watch it at a later time, not with everything else I'm watching, because I get all the shows confused in my head, So I think in a nutshell, those are all the shows I'm watching. Sorry that I skipped on comments, but yeah. Fire Force, I'm going to say my favorites were Fire Force, Beastars, Dr. Stone. Probably those 3. Yeah. But especially Beastars. That's my favorite. Yeah. Yep. Beastars is awesome. I watched Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution today, aka the Robot Chicken Pokemon movie. And honestly, I'd rather have watched Cats. That bad. Yeah, I remember on the manga show on Omni Bros. I didn't know what that was, but yeah, that CGI remake. No, thank you. Not at all. So, yeah, I just wanted to quickly highlight that stuff. It was a interesting fall season. Not a lot of heavy hitters. Obviously, Food Wars, My Hero Academia, One Piece, stuff like that is always going to bring in the numbers. But for me, I wanted to try out different things. And I thought that what I was watching was pretty interesting. I discovered Beastars. I loved the Dr. Stone anime, and it finished off really well. It has a ton of emotional moments that actually teared me up. I loved it. I also watched some things that aren't technically part of the season, like Golden Camuy, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, stuff like that. So I didn't include them here because they're old. But overall, pretty solid. I'm looking forward to the winter season. I'm very much looking forward to that because I spotted some shows that I'm really interested in. So I will be covering them at a separate video when the first episodes are going to start. I'm probably going to do like a I'm probably going to do like a winter guide for the 2020 season. So that's it, guys. I'm done. Sorry, I took way too long talking about all of these shows. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This was completely improvised. I couldn't upload the video, so I said, screw it. I'm going to do a live stream. I rarely do it on my channel. Thank you for supporting it. I know my channel doesn't get a lot of traffic, but hey, you're here, and that's all that matters. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I look forward, before the year ends, I want to do, I don't want to set a limit to myself, because usually when I do that, I get stressed out and don't do the video. But I should be doing another live stream before the year ends, talking about, oh yeah, the top anime of 2019. Hopefully, I'm gonna try and get some guests with me. But if not, hey, you guys are all that matter. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I've got a lot of ideas brewing for 2020, and I will go over that on my haul video. So look forward to that, a very special announcement that I want to make concerning the channel. Nothing bad, don't worry about it, just some next level stuff that I want to try. As always, thank you once again for liking, commenting, subscribing, being a part of A Week in Geekdom. It really does mean the world to me. Thank you for subscribing. Follow me on your favorite social media platform. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff. I've got to go. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you. This was a treat. And for all the people in the chat, thank you so very much. And for the people watching on replay, let me know down below which was your favorite fall 2019 anime. Very interested in finding out. Hopefully it's Beastars. We'll see. Thank you guys for tuning in. So long. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.